There's been a lot of conversations on AI and creativity. Some people are thinking of how it may affect their jobs. Some are excited, some are also really nervous. In this episode, we are touching on that uncertainty and also about possibilities. I'm having a conversation with Ashim from Bangladesh. He has been a graphic designer for a long time, but currently he's into virtual reality and also interactive design. In his journey, you could tell that like some creative people decide to rather adapt instead of resisting change. You're welcome to this episode, Ashim. I'm so excited to have you. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm feeling a bit nervous. I have never done this sort of things before.
Right.
And thank you again for setting the stage for me to come and talk about the things I like to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome. So what brought you into design? How did you start as a designer?
Yeah, that's a long story. I think it all started way back before, even like 10 or 20 years, because since I was a kid, I had been making drawings because I was influenced by my mom. And she was someone who introduced me to this wonderful world of expression.
Right.
I mean, we have language, we have writings, we have books. But when I was a kid, I just discovered that drawing and making artworks and painting, especially comic books, these are some kind of expressions that is unique. And I fell in love with that. So I used to draw a lot, and I used to be into art competitions. I won a lot of prizes.
Wow, that's great.
When I was a kid. So it all started from there. I loved to express that way, because one thing I really loved about drawing and painting, it was like you can express your thoughts with drawing to anyone on this earth. You don't need to learn the language. You can just draw something, show him or her, and she will get it, like what you are trying to say.
Right.
So this a borderless ability of this painting and drawing, it attracted me a lot. I fell in love with it. And part of that, then after finishing my middle school and high school, I went to the best fine art institution in Bangladesh. Yeah, and I can remember it is a highly competitive institution. You have to sit for an entrance exam.
Wow.
And there were like 7,000 applicants. And I did really well. I earned the third position among 7,000 people. And I had my major in drawing and painting. So I had been like that. So first year, it's a 4-year undergrad degree. So first year, second year, I was really investing into painting, because I was having this dream of making myself one of the famous painters, But second year, some things happened.
Yeah.
I also kind of started studying what is happening around the world, because creativity started taking a shift during that time. So in Bangladesh, we had computer before, but at that time I started exploring computer graphics.
Right.
Then the 3D modeling stuff, and then visual communication designs and all that stuff. So I just kind of asked myself, like, should I stay within drawing and painting, or I should go beyond this boundary? It was a risky thing, but I did it because I never wanted to be into the same place, because exploring new stuff always made me, happy. So I kind of started doing that. So I started learning computer graphics. And then I saw that visual communication is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So it has art, it has direct service to the people. I mean, like, this is something that has practical need in the market.
Yeah.
If you want to do something, if you want to, um, if you want to excel your brand, you need communication.
That's true.
That's why, like I kind of started experimenting with visual communication. I did like social media design campaigns, brand designs, logo designs, all sort of things. And then later years, again, since I had been exploring many things, I came to discover that, okay, now world is moving beyond just visual communication.
Yeah.
Everything is getting changed. Then there was this virtual reality.
Right.
And I kind of started learning that thing. And then again, it changed. AI. And so this is something that is never going to stop. Creativity, creative practice, tools, always going to evolve.
Yeah. What software were you using when you started doing?
Oh, yeah, definitely Adobe Creative Suite.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my first digital software I started using. So I can remember my mom gave me $80 to get a Wacom graphic tablet, the one without the screen.
Yeah, the one you use the pen.
Yeah, exactly. So it all started from there.
Yeah.
So I was trying to paint in Photoshop.
Right.
Then I saw that you can do photo manipulations.
Right.
You can do crazy things with Photoshop.
Yeah.
And then there was Illustrator, and I just fell in love with Illustrator because I don't know, people say that Illustrator is more complicated, but to me, I love Illustrator. You can, like the options you have, like the variety of stuff you can create in Illustrator. This just drives me crazy.
Right.
I am absolutely in love with Illustrator. Till today, I am always using Illustrator for almost everything.
Yeah. So at what point did you decide to come into virtual reality and also do interactive design?
All right, yeah. So that was one big stepping stone. So back in 2022, I completed my undergrad in Bangladesh from University of Dhaka.
Okay.
So right after finishing my undergrad, I went into the industry to work. So I started off with a creative marketing agency. I was there for 1.5 years. Then after that agency, one of my then previous faculty from Dhaka University, he told me that he's going to do a creative agency of 3D modeling. It was about digitizing clothes, scanning clothes and creating 3D digitized versions for the clients,
Right, and that's a thing now.
Yeah, that is a really, you have seen people using Clo 3D, right?
Yeah.
And they're creating absolutely amazing outfits,
stuff,
right?
yeah.
So that is the future. So my professor, he approached me and told me, like, do you want to be in that job you are doing right now, or you want to come here? We are doing something new. So the salary was almost the same as I was getting in the previous job. So I kind of like, yeah, let's do a new thing. I had been doing static designs for these different clients. Why not try something new? So I went there. So that company had two co-founders. One is from Bangladesh and another person, she is one of my mentor and I still have contact with her. She is from London and she's a really famous fashion designer there, Gabrielle. So we call her Gabby. So Gabby was one of those people. She helped me a lot to excel, to upgrade my practice, So we had been with Gabby and we did a project where in London, it was in Victoria and Albert's Museum.
Right.
So it was an interactive project where we used virtual reality to give people the experience of the folk traditional artworks we have back in the rural areas of Bangladesh. So that project was amazing. I feel like that is something that pushed me a lot. And that's why I came to learn about virtual reality and I started practicing this thing.
Wow, that's great. So currently, do you feel right now I'm sure you're still designing. You still design, right?
Yeah.
And right now you've shifted to virtual reality, interactive design.
Yeah.
Do you feel the traditional design is no longer enough, or like, do you feel it's no more a thing?
I get it. I mean, like, when I was deciding which one should be my major, I was having this question: should I mean, like, I wanted to be a painter, but I was thinking, how about I decide to take some other discipline? I mean, like, taking some courses in graphic design as well. I mean, like, I was interested in painting, but I was also like interested in graphic design and all that. So I was thinking about taking some courses in graphic design, but one thing I always feel like my drawing major is contributing to every single thing I'm doing right now. So traditional has its spot everywhere.
Yeah.
Classical, if you know how, like, the basic traditional designing or drawing or painting, making anything, music, dance, I think the traditional one and the classical based academic practice, it sets the foundation for every single thing you're going to do everywhere. So I think it is still there, but it has evolved. So yeah, it is there and it will always be there. The rules, the foundations are going to stay the same. It's just people, they will try different things, they will add on those things, but it's going to always stay there.
Yeah, that's true. So talk of AI. At what point do you start paying attention to AI in design?
Big topic, right?
Yeah.
The hot debate right now. All right, I'll just start with this thing, how hot this is right now. So I am teaching the creative process class with Brian Plow, Professor Plow, amazing person. And I'm really enjoying it. So in my last class, I was trying to introduce my students. I have 22 students in that class with AI. I thought they will be excited about learning that they are able to use AI and you can do crazy things with AI. When I asked them, they were like, no, we hate AI. People. All right. So I can see that these two polarizations, one group is like they are absolutely against AI, and another group is like they are pro AI. They are trying to embrace this thing. But for me, I think this is a new kind of tool. To be honest, I don't believe this as a tool because it is way bigger than we can imagine. I also don't know everything about AI, because the people who are building this thing, they doesn't even know what they're doing.
They don't even know. They create it and it gets to a point where they don't even have control over what the tool is even doing. Yeah,
I mean, one of the founding father of AI is Geoffrey Hinton. So he won the Nobel Prize for developing this neural networking system, neural computing. So when he discovered that, he explored that, created that, that's when this AI started taking this shift. You have to understand, AI had been with us for a long time. We have face recognition in our phones. When we open YouTube, we open Instagram, it shows you the content you prefer. That is AI. Even when we have automatic doors, locks, automatic ovens, cars, AI had been there for a long time, but something happened that changed AI, changed the way we take AI now. It is like the discovery of the LLMs, the language learning models. So what happened before? AI was not able to read the context behind what you are talking about. And now they have, since the invention of neural learning, it revolutionized, and now these AI models, they can go back and study the content and try to understand from a more human level. That's when this AI thing got bloomed. We have so many LLM, ChatGPT, Grok,
There's so many.
Perplexity, and Gemini, and many more.
Firefly.
I mean, like crazy. So many things are happening.
Yeah.
It's the next big thing. People are investing in
Yeah.
it. Like Nvidia, they are the chip. Right now, they are leading the market.
Yeah.
They create those crazy complicated chip.
Right.
So they used to make chip for video games, but AI, if you want to run an AI model, you have to use that kind of chip. You know, they are the first company that reached to $4 trillion. Can you imagine? Like, this gives an example
That's
how big this thing is getting. And
it's really big.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really big.
So I feel like this thing is gonna stay for a while. There is no way you can get around this thing. So I don't believe in that polarization. I mean, like, you have to embrace it at one point. I mean, for some, and also it affects fields differently. I mean, like, if you are someone who are into photography and photojournalism,
Right.
photojournalism is all about authenticity, right?
That's true.
And you have to capture the moment. So using AI in that,
It won't work.
it won't work, and it kind of makes it, like dishonest, I would say.
Yeah, it won't work. But I mean, these AI tools are getting more intelligent as time goes on,
Yeah.
to a point where people can even generate images and you would think that this was actually shot by a real photographer.
Yeah.
If you don't look at it closely,
Yeah.
you will be deceived.
Yeah.
So it's getting better day in and day out.
Yeah.
And my fear is how, like, people in the newsroom would even be able to determine whether this is AI
Yeah.
or this is not AI, But coming back to design
Yeah.
and AI, how do you feel? You mentioned your students said
Yeah.
they hate AI. I know you don't hate AI.
Yeah.
You're adapting. How do you feel? Are you scared as a designer? Do you think AI is going to take your job away from you?
It all started from there, to be honest. When I was doing painting, so even after I finished my undergrad, I had been doing painting in my free time, and traditional painting is a long process, and I still am able to paint stuff, and my favorite media is oil color, oil-based color, amazing. But if you want to paint something in oil, you can. I mean, for me, the least I can take is 7 days. So you take 7 days to create an image. But in these image processing AI models, it just takes some seconds, right? So what's the point of creating something, investing in this much time, which something else can create within a fluke, right?
Right. And another question is, what's the point of someone paying a painter to paint them,
exactly,
whilst AI can just do all
Yeah.
of that? So that brings us to job security.
Yeah, that's
Do you
true.
feel scared?
I mean, yeah, I felt scared. That's why, and that is also one of the big reasons that pushed me to get out of painting
Right.
and try these things as well, So I can just see that as a blessing, to be honest. It wasn't the main reason, the guiding principle for me changed my discipline, but I feel like that kind of contributed. And regarding the job security, some jobs are gonna get affected, to be honest. Throughout the history, we had many jobs that got wiped out during the first industrial revolution, second
Right.
industrial revolution. We had many jobs that got wiped out. To be
Yeah.
honest, that's gonna happen. But the good thing is, some new jobs are gonna emerge, to be honest, because we can already see prompt engineering has become one of
Right.
the biggest thing. And now you have more people into creativity because of AI, and for me that's a good thing. Yeah, that's how I feel. So I want to end this question with one thing. So Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, he said one thing that stayed with me. He said in an interview, like, it is not AI that's going to replace human. It is going to be humans who know how to use AI. They are going to be replacing humans who doesn't know how to use AI.
That's deep.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's deep.
yeah.
So, what kind of designers do you think are at risk,
Um,
especially in this AI era?
I would say like designers who doesn't want to adapt, and I mean being open is an integral part of creativity, you
Right.
know. And I feel like majority of my friends who are into creativity, they are open. You have to be open to be creative.
Yeah.
I mean, like we have famous artists, traditional artists who embraced technology, like David Hockney.
Right.
You know, his later phase of life, he painted in iPad, and he had exhibitions. He killed it. He embraced that. He was like, "What's the point of processing the color, priming the canvas?"
Going through all that long
Yeah,
process.
and he was like, I can paint more when I am using in Procreate rather than using Canvas.
Absolutely.
So he was one of the examples.
Yeah.
And if someone stays to honest with him, that is also fine. That is his way of exploring the creativity.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. To be honest.
Yeah. Do you think human beings are still relevant in this
Absolutely.
era?
Absolutely, to be honest. AI can do many things, so many crazy things. But one thing they are not able to do is like they miss that human emotion into that,
Right.
to be honest. So I think it this way. So if you see throughout the history, human and their way of expressing creativity, right? So it all started with cave paintings, the paintings in cave, Altamira. Then there are like, I cannot remember the other names. So you have seen that they used to paint with coal, charcoal, and they used to paint with natural color, right? Then human invented oil color, and centuries went by. They were using oil color. So our human is there, is still there, our human mind,
Yeah.
and it changed to oil color. Later, acrylic came on. Acrylic is like it dries quickly, the processing is easy, and acrylic, you don't have to preserve acrylic carefully. Otherwise, oil color, it gets rotted, right? You
Yeah.
can see fungus if you don't preserve properly. But acrylic, it's so good. Invention.
Yeah.
They switched to acrylic.
Yeah.
Then we have so many more ways of painting, and like performing art, video art, audio art. People are
Right.
creating painting with audio.
Yeah.
It changed, but human mind and their brain work and their emotion, it always stayed, right? So I kind of feel it that way. So human emotion is always relevant. It has to stay there, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
Because some machine who can imitate is never gonna be able to replace human. Yeah, it's gonna always stay there, and it is still an integral part. Even when you are generating something for using in your project or design, you have to rework on that and make it perfect.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I feel like human is always gonna be integral part because they lack the human emotion. Yeah.
So AI lacks the emotion. Humans have the mind to rethink and remake things. Do you think in order for us to be relevant or to be as important as we used to or as we are,
Yeah.
it would be better for us to create systems and experiences so that we are able to stay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And many big companies right now, they are working on finding out the system. They are trying to build a process of integrating AI with human touch, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I will give an example, right? I used AI for one of my previous semester's class project. So I had to design a series of infographics where I was planning to use Lego pieces to make the bar graphs, the pie chart, the line graph, and all that.
Nice.
And I was almost convinced about buying a full Lego set to do that.
Yeah.
But I thought that let's try with AI. I mean, like instead of buying the Lego, I, carefully crafted some prompt, and tried to create those bars with Lego pieces using Gemini. It worked, and the output was really good. Adonis, he loved that. Even, I mean, like, Adonis is so much into AI. Even the people who are not into AI, they also loved it. But to be honest, in my experience, I had to build a process. So I had to think myself how I am gonna. I mean, I had to decide whether I want to make that with Lego or not. I had to think that. So it all started with my mind. Then I had to generate many prompts.
Right.
For one image, I had to like generate 10 or 20 images, you know. Then I had to combine, take it into Photoshop, fix some problems, make it actual, because since there was bar graphs and pie charts, it's all about data. You have to be careful about the things you are talking. You have to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and then later in the end, I had to take everything together, put it into Adobe XD. The point is, like, there was a process involved.
Right.
It's not just you just give some prompt
Just a
and getting
prompt
out.
and,
No.
you know.
And now many companies are focusing on this process. And Adobe Firefly, they are also kind of into the process, and they are also integrating generative AI thing in Photoshop.
Yeah.
So yeah, so big companies, they are focusing on process, and AI is not going to replace human. They are going to build a collaborative system for creative people.
Right.
That's going to change the industry or creative field.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So you are spot on that, because you keep mentioning correction, even when you were working on your project. How you did some of it with AI, but you still needed to go in there to do a few tweaks. So it doesn't necessarily end there. So it's more like when you're using AI, you should have your vision, what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You shouldn't just put in a prompt and it will just do everything for you and that's it.
Exactly.
You need to know, once you know what you're looking for, if it makes a mistake, then you're able to tell, you know, it made a mistake.
Exactly.
And you'll be able to correct it. So, yeah, spot on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're moving to a very interesting part of this segment. I'm going to give you 3 cards.
All right.
And you will choose 2 cards out of it randomly. You don't have to check. You don't have to read.
All right.
So you choose just 2. Hand me the 2. I'll read it out and you would answer. So this is really spontaneous.
All right. So I'm going to pick 2.
Yeah.
2.
So you pick 2 without looking.
All right.
And give it back to me.
All right. I'm going to pick like this. This is yours.
Okay, this is the first one.
Okay.
All right. So the first card says, what is one fear you had about your career that turned out to be unnecessary?
Yeah, I need to think about that. I think money. Because when I started off, I used to worry a lot about getting a job. And for creative people like us, getting job is not like other people, you know, people from other field. So I kind of feel like my undergrad years, I worried a lot about getting a job. But during my final years, something happened. I discovered the magic truth. It's not about money. I mean, like, if you truly are into your process, if you love your work and you know how to evaluate your work, money's gonna come to you.
That's true.
That's what I discovered. And to be honest, in Bangladesh, getting a job is so difficult. Yeah, everyone fights for job. And my approach was like, I never worried for the job. So I spent 4 years after my graduation until coming here at Ohio University. And these 4 years, I cannot remember the exact number, but many companies keep on asking me, like, they came forward with jobs.
Wow.
And I had the luxury to pick where I want to go, So that's what I believe.
Yeah.
If you know how to evaluate your work, job's going to come at you.
Right.
So that's what I used to worry a lot. But now I don't
And
worry
it was
about
really
it.
unnecessary.
This
They
is
actually
unnecessary.
came looking for you.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
so cool. All right, so the next one.
I'm going to pick it.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So I'll pick it and hand it over to
Yeah.
you. Okay. All right.
Alrighty. Okay, so the second card. If you had to predict the creative industry 10 years from now, in one sentence, what would you say?
If I had to predict,
The creative industry
Yeah.
10 years from now, in one sentence, what would you say?
It's gonna get wild. So prepare yourself. Yeah.
It's gonna get
Wild. So prepare yourself because it is still changing. And recently I have been watching people are generating crazy realistic videos using Xfield, Kling, Sedance. These are all video generation
Right.
AI tools, you
Yeah.
know, and those look amazing and so crazy.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you are able to produce studio quality video products without needing a big team or crew. I mean, this doesn't make any. This makes me a bit scared and optimistic at the same time. But it is gonna change. It is still changing, and
It's getting better.
yeah,
by the day.
and within 20 years, everything will look different. To be
That's
honest,
true.
yeah.
I mean, last summer I got the opportunity to work with Professor Eric Williams
Yeah.
on revamping a film he did
Yeah.
so many years ago. I think in 1995. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but yeah. So we were working with AI tools like LTX, Firefly, Gemini, ChatGPT. We were just combining
Yeah.
like different tools to try and make it work. And it will surprise you like what these AI
Yeah.
tools would, come up
Yeah.
with, and you're like, oh my god, this looks so good.
Yeah.
It could change the angles. For example, if you shot from a different angle and
Yeah.
like, nah, can you change it from this angle to this angle?
Oh, yeah.
It's able to
Exactly.
it's able to color, it's able to change. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But another thing is, one thing we realized from it is that, like, let's say if you use it to produce a particular thing last week, this week when you're using it, you realize that they've changed it.
Yeah.
So it makes the work process a bit tedious. Like every
Yeah.
time you have to constantly think of
Yeah.
new ways to make things work, but
True.
So yeah,
It's
I feel
rapidly
that.
changing,
It's
to be
changing.
honest.
It's
Yeah.
changing every day. It's
That's-
changing every day. And
that's
you're
why-
creating new
yeah.
tools every day.
That's why I would say that it's gonna get wild. So prepare yourself and open up. Be enough open, because you're gonna get like, okay, what the hell is this? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna read this thing. What skill do you have that AI can never replace?
That's a
Okay.
good question.
Yeah, now my subject is giving me a hard time now. I mean, AI is never gonna be able to bring the human touch, to be honest. That's the number one thing. And another thing, I think in regards to writing, when I am writing something that had been generated using AI, and I am writing something that had been written by, let's say, George R.R. Martin,
Right.
the writer of Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you start reading, like, it won't take you much to spot the difference.
It won't.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we were having that conversation yesterday,
yes,
right?
yeah, right, yeah. You can find the difference.
Yeah.
AI is never gonna be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because we human, our brain, it is the ultimate magic, and the way we process data about our environment, the way we had been evolving. So I think this is the ultimate. So if you want to bring something that is able to replace that, I'm not quite sure if someone will be able to do that, because if it was like that, we wouldn't have Mona Lisa hanging in Louvre.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have Beethoven's Sixth Season.
Mm-hmm.
When we look into these classical masterpieces, AI is never going to be able to produce something like that. I mean, it will never be able to make you cry. I mean, when you look some of the pieces by Van Gogh, when you listen to these stories behind those painting, it makes you cry. So AI is never going to be able
emotion.
to produce something that will make you cry. I mean, when was the last time you went to a cinema and you were crying? That's a question to you.
That's a question to me. I hardly cry. Oh.
Yeah.
Even if the story is even really sad, it will be really, really hard for me to cry.
Yeah.
I hardly cry.
So,
I don't remember.
Yeah, I cried like last week. I was watching an episode of The Knights of the Seven Kingdom.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean...
And it made you cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a human. I mean, you relate that story with your life.
Yeah.
You can relate the struggle. These human sides, that makes you feel like, okay, let me imagine me being in his shoes. AI is never going to be able to do those things. Yeah, I believe that. Okay,
let me ask a question. So, will you be scared when AI is able to add like emotions to it? You know how people will just be having conversations with ChatGPT, pouring all their emotional stuff in there. Do you think, and how AI, these tools are adapting intelligently every day, do you think there could be a possibility of AI becoming like emotional? And if that happens, what would the world turn to?
I mean, that is some crazy dystopian, futuristic sci-fi stuff, right?
Right.
That's true. I was reading this article where someone committed suicide, and he asked, it was a teen in his high school, and he had help from ChatGPT, That's scary, right?
It's scary.
So for me, I don't see AI having, it is kind of rare, since that event. I think this AI multimodal companies, they are taking steps to prevent this thing. But we should be scared about that. I don't know the answer. I hope that it doesn't happen when I am alive. It happens in far future.
I hope it doesn't happen too. It's something I think of sometimes.
But I strongly believe that our brain is so complicated, organic stuff. So something that will rival this thing, it's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take time. Yeah. All right. So what if someone is interested in design or they're already into design, what would be your advice to them?
Advice? I don't give advice. I give suggestions.
Okay, suggest.
Because if you give advice, they're never going to listen.
Okay, what are you going to suggest to them then?
I would say that. Should I say that in camera?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Always take those traditional ways of creation seriously. And classical and academic paintings, designings, and writing or whatever, those are gonna be the core foundation of your future practices. So take those way more seriously and study other people. That's it. Nothing else.
That's awesome. Is there anything we didn't touch on that you think that you would want to add?
No, I think you have touched upon almost everything.
Good. Okay, awesome. So this brings us to the end of this episode. It's been very interesting having this conversation about AI and creativity. It's myself, I'm scared. But I mean, let's keep adapting. And as Ashim mentioned, it's going to get wild. Like, it's going to get wild. So prepare. So that is what I'm leaving you with. This is the end of the episode. I'll see you in the next. Kindly like, comment, share, and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.